Hello and welcome back. We're on video number 2. So quick recap, we did our album cover, we did our hinges, and we've put our insert pages on. So we're starting now and we've got the first one done, the pages that we're going to decorate those inserts. So we're going to decorate, add flips and flaps to each one of these, real simple. So also I did all of my cutting and paper clip them. I call them set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're welcome to do that now and then come back, or you can cut along and hit pause. That's the power of a recorded video. So we did set 1 before I had to go and refresh battery and power. And now we're on set 2. So I'm gonna set these, paper clip them together, and we'll do the second set. All right, so here's set 2. Set 2 here, we're going to score them at 1/2 along the 4 3/4 sides. We've got 2 of them. Here's 4 3/4, and I should make sure I get in camera and stay in camera. So let me find this new video, get my hands going. Yep, looking okay here. So I'm in camera, we're at 4 3/4, we're gonna score it at 1/2. We're going to do the same thing, 4 3/4, and score it 1/2. Then on every one of the scores, I fold and give it a good crease. Do that same thing, fold and give it a good crease. I'm just going to paper clip these right back together. All right, and then set 3. This is a waterfall with a closure. So all of these 5 pieces, we're going to lay it at 4 3/4 and score them at 1/2. 4 3/4, score at 1/2. Make sure I cut that straight. I had a little pucker there. So while I've got these done, I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish, and then I'll read and we'll score that closure piece. I just find this way when I'm making my mini albums, when I've got the pattern, all my dimensions, it's easier to do all my cutting, come back and do all my scoring, and then my assembly. All right, so for the closure, we're going to lay it along the 5 and we're going to score it at 3 3/4. 1, 2, 3/4. So this is the part we'll tuck underneath and glue, and then this will be what comes up along that waterfall with the magnet closure. And here's a pair of scissors. It looks like I cut mine a little wonky there. Sometimes my trimmer will slip to the side. I love my trimmer. It's the oldest, cheapest trimmer in the world. There we go. All right, so that's my set 3. Let me find my note, keep it on top. There it is. All right, and number 4 right here. So we've got one larger piece, long and thin, and we're going to score this one along the 3 3/4 side at 1/2. And then the other kind of a rectangle along the 4 3/4 end, score it at 1/2. All right, set 5. So these are easy. We're going to take both of the larger pieces at the 4 3/4, score it at 1/2. These make like a little gatefold. And then when you open it up into the middle, that long piece that we're going to do next is a belly band. So these will go along the 7 3/4, score it at 1/2, flip it completely around and do the same thing at the opposite end. Score it at the 1/2. One more set to go for our page inserts, set 6. This one's real easy. We're going to take it along the long end, 7 1/4. We're going to score it at 1/2. That's the only thing for that one. So then I have cut my pocket inserts. We're not going to put those in right away. We'll set them aside. So now we've got, these are my pieces for my inside cover. So this is going to go right here on my album. So nothing to do with those. And then I have got my inside cover pockets. So both the front and the back will have a pocket. So we're going to score it along that 5 3/4 at 1/2, turn it 1/4, another 1/2, turn it 1/4, and another 1/2. So this will make a little pocket. And we've got one more to do just like that for front and back. 1/2, turn it 1/4, 1/2, turn it 1/4, and another 1/2. There's our pockets. So we are ready to go. We might as well get our pockets ready. So I'm going to miter my corner, which is just cut a little extra away from both corners. I don't know if you can hear the background. It's 4th of July here tonight and a thunderstorm. So I think they're shooting off as many fireworks as they can maybe before they get rained out. I hate to talk about dates so that, I might not even get this for sale for 2 or 3 months, but it's kind of hard to hide the noise of what you might be hearing. So there you go. All right, so I feel like it's kind of like making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? Get out all the bread, then put your butter, put your jelly, put your peanut butter, put them all together. All right, so let's start putting these together. We're done with the scoreboard, and really I think we're done with the bone folder. And because I just did the pockets and I've got these inside covers, I'm going to work a little backwards for just these 2 pieces. Okay, so this we're just going to center up top, bottom, and left and right. And it looks like I might be able to come down just a little lower for you. Let's see. Pardon me. Just want to see if I can get us a little closer to the action here. Can I get even closer? Maybe. You're going to have to see my arms again. Okay, I'm just watching the camera here to see if I like it. I think I'll stop there, but at least we've got a little bit closer. So for this, it's kind of interchangeable, white and clear glue. I've got my clear glue handy. I just took a little swig of my Diet Coke. I always put some in the middle so I can avoid that little bubble or pucker. But it does allow me to slide it up and down here, so make sure I've got a nice straight line. Same thing at the bottom, and same thing left and right. So that looks pretty square to me. And I think body heat helps kind of firm up, kind of cook that glue. I'm going to do the same thing on my back. And I might as well just, it says inside covers here in pencil, so I'm going to glue that part down. It'll be covered by decorative paper too, but if you can be certain, why not, right? So I just slid that a little bit straighter into place. I'm always looking left to right, side to side. Now for these, I like it to grab a little quicker and not slide. So I'm going to use white glue, if I can get my paper clip off of here without doing too much damage. It's really hooked strong there. Let's see. There we go. Let's get out my art glitter glue. Sometimes it's easier to do these pockets after you cover it with your decorative paper. But for the sake of assembly, I know how to, we can just cut that paper a little smaller and slide it down into the pocket too. So I've made sure that it's even at the end of that paper I just glued on there. Just like that. One day I went back to decorate an album that I'd made ahead of time and I'd glued the pocket on upside down. Whoopsie. So I really have made every silly mistake there is. Let's see if I can not make that same mistake today. Just want to make sure my edges are even with that piece of paper we just glued on. I'm just kind of burnishing it with my finger. That looks good. Let's check this one out. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the first page and the front side of that. And what I'm going to do is these are going to be in reverse order. Inserts we don't need right away. I'm just going to put 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and the 1 that we had done on the video before. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take the 1/2 inch and glue it to the right side of that front page. Okay? So I do like the white glue for this because it's got a quicker grab. But it will allow me to adjust it just a little bit if I need to slide it. Keep everything nice and straight. And this piece is now a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square, which if you're working with a collection pack that's got 4 by 4 cut aparts, that's really an easy focal point that you can add to it. I'm sure we'll find something cute to do with it, with this Prima paper. So I'm just going to center it top and bottom, and then right to the edge of my left side. Just like that. Okay, that's our closure. We're going to flip over to the back side of that, which is going to be set 2 or the page 1 back. And this one, looks like I'm getting a plethora of paper clips. We're going to glue 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom. Right here to the very top. Just like that. And I'm just making sure left and right that I'm pretty centered. And then 1 down here at the bottom. When I'm laying it down, I'm also lifting up that flap to see that these two are joining together nice and straight, and they are. A little extra glue oozing out there. This is nice glue. It will dry clear. And then we'll add a magnet closure there as well. All right, we've got our set 3. This is our big waterfall. So let's start with the waterfalls first. We're going to center them up left and right, and we're going to come down about 1/8 from the top on this one, on the very first one. I'm just going to eyeball about 1/8 down, and then left and right center it up. Just like that. do the second one. Just trying to make sure they're pretty even. And I'll pull the other flap down to make sure I'm still sticking pretty straight. Number 3. It's all looking pretty straight, lined up. I've not made a perfect album yet. Close is good enough. Okay. I always flip down, take a look, see. One time I did not do that. And when I thought it was all nice and lined up here as I was going, it was completely cockeyed and crooked. That was a pretty big thunder roll. Just looked out the window too earlier and we had the hugest double rainbow. I don't like how that's going. It's getting too close to the edge there. Let's try that. This is not the most perfect waterfall I've ever put together, but it'll be okay. All right, so here's our closure. What we want to do is line it up right about there at the bottom. Same thing as the top, about 1/8 from the bottom and centered up. So I like that placement, so I'm going to lift it up. Right where it is. I'm going to add my glue on this little square piece. And tuck it back underneath. So I like that it's pretty centered here and about 1/8 from my bottom. And then we'll add a magnet here for the closure. All right, let's flip again. We've got set number 4. This one we're going to put our long one on that right side. Be careful that you don't go over any scoring so that this album will fold open and closed. All the pages will flip open and closed. And then this one, we're going to put on the left side, centered up, kind of like we did on that first one. It's just on this one, more of the print on this page will show through. It's really cute when it's all done. We'll have a magnet closure on that one as well. Okay, let's see if I can get my paper clip off of this one. There we go. So this is that gatefold with the belly band in the middle. All right, so let's do, we can start with the left side and then the right side, and then we'll do belly band. So again, I'm just making sure I'm lining it up with that page, top and bottom over here, and not going over any scoring. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. We were so close to finishing this before I had charging power issues. I need more power. Okay, if I close this over, it's still all looking straight together, so that's good. And then right in the center here is where we're going to add our little belly band. That feels pretty centered to me and pretty straight. And we'll have a magnetic closure on that one. This last one, we're just going to glue it right to the top there. See how it goes so much faster when you've kind of done it in stages? It's like your brain gets going in one area. You can go a little faster, a little bit more consistent. And this one, I don't believe will need a magnetic closure. I think it'll be okay just like that. And these inserts, we're going to slip in. You got to find, we'll start at the beginning here again. So that original pouch that we made, that's where these slide in. And we'll put fun decorative paper on those as well. So let's get to the next one. Find our little pouch right there. And then my last one. There's the original pouch. Just like that. All right, so we're getting there. The next thing I like to do is put some score tape right in my center and a little bit, maybe a ½ inch away from my edge, as a reminder that we're going to put some ribbon here before we cover it with decorative paper. And because we have a pocket here, we're committed that this has to be our front. So we'll put a big F there for front, so I don't decorate the wrong side. And there we go. So I'm going to dig out some magnets real quick and we'll do our magnet placement next. Try to get some magnets. Well, I'm going to have to open a new package. So I like these basic gray magnetic discs. You only need the small ones. We're not gonna be trying to hold together some heavy duty chipboard or anything like that. So let's do our placements. So this one here, the very first flap, we're gonna open up the flap, and I'm just gonna start with a plus. I mean a minus, I'm sorry. Peel off my little adhesive that it comes with. And then I'm going to center it up top and bottom, and then I'm going to come in a little bit, which gives me room to glue my paper around that. Now I'm going to take my plus, lay it right on top of my minus, peel off that adhesive, maybe. And then when I fold this over and press to my other paper, my magnet is perfectly placed where it's going to need to go. All right, I'm going to turn to the next page. Same thing, we'll start with this top flap. Put our minus up there. There we go. Same principle. Centered up and leaving a little bit of room for that to glue down whatever pretty paper we put there. There's my plus. All right, there's my exposed adhesive. So I press down now, put a little pressure, and it's perfectly placed. Now for our waterfall closure. Good. So I just wanted to make sure when this is moved up and we've got the plus to there, if I lay that over here, it's polarized. So I'm starting with the plus because one time I didn't pay attention and I had two magnets here. They were opposite, so when I closed the book, they were trying to magnet each other. I know that's probably not a good description, but if you've done it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so there's my plus, and now I'm going to put a minus on there. Okay. And then when I press up, it'll be centered up on that waterfall. And hopefully when I shut this book, they're not trying to meet each other. And I think they are actually. But I'll put enough paper on it, shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so now we've got the next set. We've got kind of the similar to the front. So we're going to put a minus on this flap. I'm going to come back down on the camera a little bit. Okay, so here's my minus. Just going to do the same type of placement. Now find my plus. Here's my closed flap. Close that over. Press. And we've got our placed magnet. All right, same thing with the other one. Going to open that left side. Add my minus. A piece of paper sticking on my finger. Here's my plus. Go. The belly band's in the middle here. We'll flip it over and press. Then that last one, I really don't think we need, the weight of it's going to be fine without a magnet closure. All right, so there we go. So pretty. All right, and then in your kit, we have this beautiful, beautiful rose gold ribbon. So I don't think, I want to see if we can wrap it and tie. If so, then you've got really good strength. Yeah, I think we'll do it this way. If you can wrap it, then it's by pulling on it to tie, it's not going to come loose. So it's just a little stronger adhesion. So we're going to wrap it all the way around, even it up at the ends, close enough, and then adhere it down. So I like that it's, I feel like it's centered. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is on my first cover, take away that adhesive, lay it down. Okay, all this will be covered up with pretty paper. I'm just going to come around to my other side. I like that. So I'm going to put some more two-sided tape right along my edge there. Okay, so again, I'm going to just kind of pull taut to make sure it's nice and just pulling on it a little bit. Come around my edge, make sure I'm lining it to the next one, that one on the bottom. So they'll be fairly lined up. So there's our ribbon. So we're all done with magnets. We don't need those anymore. You can set those off to the side. And I'm gonna finish with some rose gold foil that we've got in our kit. Right here, we've got only one sheet, so we'll probably use a couple of the scraps too. So I'm gonna bring the trimmer into the camera. Make sure that my measuring part is down where you can see it. So our front cover is 5 by 7. So we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 6 3/4. So 1/4 less than the 7. And then we're going to save this scrap, turn this the other direction, and we're going to cut 2 that are 4 3/4. 4 3/4. And then I thought maybe we wouldn't need to cut this last piece, but we do. So I'm gonna cut mine. Let's see. You'll probably want to measure this width because it depends on the space that you left between your 2 chipboard pieces. But that's just, it's 2.5 left, and that's just a little too wide. So I'm gonna cut mine. Ooh, that was a little wide. I'm going to cut it to 2 3/8 and see if I like that first. You can always cut again, but it's hard to add paper back to it. So that's what I like mine at. So you want to measure yours. Mine is 2 3/8 wide. All right. So let's go ahead and glue these down also. I don't know, I'm not gonna throw that sliver away. Not yet. I wouldn't save it, but if I can use it, I will. That feels a little crooked to me. Okay. All right, that's the back. Flip back over to the front. That's my front. And I'm gonna glue that right to the front, top, bottom, left, and right. Just center it up. Just kind of pressing down until it makes good contact. All right, and I'm going to flip over to my other side, my back side, and do the same thing. I could do the spine, but because this glue hasn't completely set, I have found that if you're, leaving it at an angle and you look away, just pure gravity or momentum, my papers have slid on me and then dried crooked, even though I had left them straight. All right. So now I'll just kind of lay it here so you can see it on camera. I'm going to give it a good press down so it all makes that good contact. All right, so that is the beginning of our album decoration. I'm going to check one thing. Okay, I want to make sure that my inserts weren't too long, and they're not sticking, they're not jutting out. So they're okay. We might decide to cut them an eighth shorter, but we've got some time. So I'm just continuing to let this all set, make sure there's no gaps. It's the foundation for the rest of our decorations. All right, so I'm going to clear away. Oh, also save your scraps. So this was my scrap pile. Yours might look slightly different. But we might use it. I haven't designed the pretties yet, but we might want some black paper, so don't throw them away yet. We can throw them away when we're done with the album. Save your piece of rose gold, and then we're going to want to get out our pretty decorative papers. So I will come back to you with the last, well, not the last. We might do what I consider is covering all the heavy real estate, the big pieces. And I've got a flip-flop. There we go. I've got to get something on that front pretty soon that knows it's the front. So we'll cover all the main pages, and then we'll come back and we'll do our decorating. That's usually how I do it. So you might get it done all in one video, but when you go through the thought processes with me, it might take a little longer, and it might be one more video. So I'm going to pause here because we're done with the basic assembly, and we'll come back, clean our area. We're done with this piece. You can get rid of that. And we're gonna need our chipboard stickers and our flowers. It's all gonna be so pretty and so fun. And first off, we'll be using our 12 by 12 papers. All right, toodaloo. See you at the next video.